Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today is Thursday, which means, at least for now, it is time for another Steve Carell review. This one, I'm a little upset about, because I wasn't looking forward to it already, and I was, it was up to expectations, I think. But coming after Cafe Society, which is a really solid movie, this one was kind of a disappointment. Looking forward to next week, we have Battle of the Sexes, which I'm way more looking forward to. I hope that that's a good movie, because it seems really good. But for now, we're going to talk about Despicable Me 3. Despicable Me 3 was released in 2017. It was written by Cinco Paul and Ken Dario, and directed by Kyle Balda, Pierre Coffin, and Eric Gillon. So, as with all animated movies, I'm going to try to keep this one short, because it is an animated movie. But, for those of you who don't know, essentially, it does follow Despicable Me 2 after they get married, and they are going to go on their honeymoon. And that's basically where we start this. They don't actually really go on a real honeymoon. Because they're too busy. Essentially what happens is they get fired from their job because Gru and, what's-her-face, I already forgot her name, can't steal the diamond. Because there's this giant diamond and they can't get it from this other bad guy named Balthazar Brat. And so they're fired. And that was a kind of a weird twist of events, I think. It was kind of a dumb way that they got fired, but whatever. And then Gru hears from his brother, his twin brother, Drew, who they hadn't heard about before. We had never heard about before in the whole movie. But he has a twin brother. His name is Drew. And they get together, and basically what happens is Drew is like, Gru, we gotta do bad stuff like our father. And he's like, okay. And so they go to steal the diamond again. This time they take the diamond, and they give it back to the good guy group, which originally Drew was not happy about. But then Drew's like, oh, it's kind of cool. And then they become friends, and they get their jobs back. Which, really, surprisingly, I just summed up everything that happened in that entire movie. Like, literally, that's what happened in the entire movie. Besides the whole side plot about the unicorn, which wasn't really important. But I think that in terms of plot, it wasn't particularly fantastic. It wasn't bad. I don't think it was as bad as Despicable Me 2. I think this one was better. Mainly because at least it was funny. The second one just wasn't very funny, in my opinion. This one had a couple laugh-out-loud laughs that I did enjoy. Which I'm realizing that I'm in this mood to watch comic movies. Like, not comic book movies, although that too. But I like watching funny movies sometimes. Sometimes I don't. I'm in the mood to watch a funny movie, which is good because I'm going to be watching Uncle Drew tomorrow and then Shazam the next day. So, should be pretty good in terms of watching funny movies. But I don't think that this movie was particularly that funny, but it was more funny than Despicable Me 2. In terms of plot, it was at least more believable, I think, than other ones. But, you know, it's a cartoon, so I can't judge too harshly on it. But overall, not too bad. Let's go ahead and talk about the voice acting real quick, starting with Steve Carell as Gru/Drew. Steve Carell's interesting in this. I think he's better because he's able to play Gru, and Drew is not the same as Gru. He doesn't have the same accent or anything. So it's cool that he got to do both. And then there's this one moment where Steve Carell is playing Gru playing Drew, and Steve Carell is playing Drew playing Gru. So like they have to have bad accents, which is already difficult because they're already not very good accents. So it was like a really cool little twist that they did there. And I did enjoy that. I think that he did an okay job. I believe this is his last voice acting role. Yeah, it looks like his last voice acting role, unless you count Welcome to Marwen, which I don't because it's technically motion capture. So I am interested to see if he ever comes back. I know he's coming back for The Rise of Gru, but I don't know if that's a huge role or just a cameo. Overall, not too bad on Steve Carell's fault. Trey Parker as Balthazar Brat. So Balthazar Brat is the bad guy, and I think he's really funny. He plays a lot of 80s songs, and the songs are fun. I'm like, oh yeah, yes, I like this song. And then they cut it off really soon, which is really sad, because then it leaves me feeling unsatisfied. But overall, I think his voice acting was really good, and I like the character at least a little bit, even if he was a little over-the-top annoying and extravagant. But as I said before, this is going to be a shorter review because it is an animated review. But I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a B. If you have the opportunity to watch it, it's not bad. It's not a bad watch. I would recommend watching the other two first. You don't have to watch Minions to watch this one at all. The Minions are barely in this movie, like literally barely at all. Especially considering in Despicable Me 1, they're very involved, and in this one, they're very not involved. So I'm excited to see Minions: Rise of Gru, hoping that it's more like a Despicable Me movie than a Minions movie, because the Minions movie was not very good. But I think it's going to do it for me today in terms of talking about Despicable Me 3. Again, it's animated, so there's not a whole lot that I can talk about besides plot, and there wasn't much plot, so there wasn't a whole lot for me to talk about. But in terms of what's happening the rest of this week, let's take a quick peek. Just Uncle Drew tomorrow, looks like. Uncle Drew. Shout out to Chance for recommending that. It comes out tomorrow. I should also have my hands on watching Cherry tomorrow, so look forward to that review if that comes out. I hope it does. I'm really excited to watch that movie. And it might have already come out if I had access to it earlier. I don't know if I did, but we'll see. But yeah, looks like that's it. There might be a couple other movies coming out tomorrow that I'll review. We'll see how it goes. But I think that's going to do it for me today. As always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.